You walk into a room, the conversation is already happening. Laughter is moving in waves. People are finding each other easily, naturally, like it costs them nothing. And you stand there, watching, feeling the distance between yourself and everyone else like it's a physical thing. You are not shy, you know that, but no one else seems to. You think more than you speak. You feel more than you show. And somewhere along the way, the world decided that made you less. I want to talk to you today. Not to a group, not to an audience. To you specifically. The one who goes home after social situations and replays every word they said, wondering if it landed wrong. Here is what I need you to hear before anything else. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are misdirected. And there is a significant difference between those two things. If you are done trying to perform a version of yourself that was never real, stay here. This channel exists for people who want to build something genuine instead. Let us start with the truth about introversion, because most people, including introverts themselves, misunderstand it completely. Introversion is not shyness. It is not social anxiety. It is not a fear of people. It is an energy system. When an extrovert spends hours in a crowd, they leave feeling charged. Something in that interaction fills them. For you, it is different. Social environments draw from your energy rather than replenish it. And so you need time alone. Not because people exhaust you emotionally, but because solitude is where you refill. That is not a flaw. That is a design. The problem is that the world measures confidence by volume, by how fast someone speaks, by how much space they take in conversation. And because introverts do not naturally operate that way, they are handed a label that does not belong to them. Quiet, shy, cold, distant. None of those words describe you. They describe what people see when they do not understand you. Here's what is actually true. People who speak less often command more attention when they do speak. There is a psychological weight to words that are used carefully. When someone who rarely speaks suddenly says something precise and honest, the room shifts. People listen differently. Your selective energy is not a limitation. It is a form of power that most people never develop because they are too busy filling silence. But here is where I need to be direct with you. Introversion is not your problem. Self-doubt is. There is a voice that lives inside the mind of most introverts, and it is not kind. After a conversation, it speaks. That was the wrong thing to say. They probably found you boring. You should have been funnier, sharper, more interesting. That voice feels like truth. It speaks with authority, but almost nothing it says is factual. It is fear wearing the mask of self-awareness. And the more you listen to it, the more you shrink. Not because the world is rejecting you, but because you are pre-rejecting yourself before anyone else gets the chance. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is a practice. And it is built through action, not thinking. So here's something small and real you can start with. In your next conversation, ask one genuine question, not to fill space, because you actually want to know the answer. That single act, showing real curiosity, will do more for how someone perceives you than anything you could rehearse. Hold eye contact 2 seconds longer than feels comfortable, not in an intense way, just long enough to signal that you are fully present. And when you have something to say it. One sentence, clear and complete. Do not dilute it with, I don't know, or maybe I'm wrong. Just say the thing. These are small movements, but confidence is not built in a single moment of transformation. It is built in these micro actions, repeated until your nervous system stops treating social situations like a threat. Now, let us talk about something that most people overlook. Before you say a single word in any room, your body has already spoken. Attraction, respect, presence. These things begin in posture, and posture is something you can change right now while you are listening to this. Bring your shoulders back, not forced, not military, just relaxed and open, like you are comfortable taking up the space you are in. When you hunch forward, you signal something to other people and, more importantly, to your own nervous system. You signal smallness. Your brain reads your posture and generates an emotional state to match it. Keep your head level, not down, which reads as submission, not exaggerated, which reads as performance, level. Calm, like someone who has no reason to look away. Move slowly. Introverts often move quickly in social settings, small, rapid movements that betray discomfort. Slow your movements deliberately. Slow how you turn your head. Slow how you reach for your drink. Stillness carries authority in a way that constant motion cannot. And take up space, not aggressively, but do not make yourself physically smaller to compensate for how large you feel inside. Let your body exist fully in the space it occupies. When your body sends these signals, your mind begins to follow. It is not performance, it is communication with the room and with yourself. Here is something no one tells you clearly enough. Real confidence does not come from social skills. It does not come from being good at small talk or knowing how to work a room. It comes from knowing that you have built something real. When you develop genuine mastery in one domain, and I mean any domain, your internal experience changes. When you are deeply skilled at something, your mind stops generating the question, "Am I enough?" Not because you suppressed the question, but because you have evidence that answers it. Think about this carefully. When someone has spent years developing expertise in code, in writing, in their craft, in how they understand markets or people or systems, they carry something in their posture that cannot be faked. A certain settledness, a groundedness that other people can feel without being able to name it. People are drawn to that. Not to success as an external result, but to the internal quality that comes from having built something real with your own mind and effort. You do not need to be famous. You do not need to be the best in the world. You need one domain where you go deep, where you are serious, where you are quietly becoming dangerous in the best possible sense of that word. That is where your confidence will actually come from. Not from a conversation technique, from knowing privately that you have substance. There is something else worth naming. Introverts, by nature, observe more. While others are performing, you are watching. You notice what people are not saying. You hear the tone underneath the words. You pick up patterns that faster, louder minds miss entirely. In a world that is chronically noisy, where everyone is broadcasting and almost no one is truly listening, your capacity for depth is rare. Emotional steadiness is attractive, not in a romantic sense specifically, but in the broader human sense. People are drawn to those who do not react impulsively, who do not escalate, who hold their composure not because they feel nothing, but because they have learned to sit with what they feel rather than immediately express it. That is not coldness. That is presence. And there is a quality to people who do not reveal everything immediately, not because they are hiding, but because they are genuinely selective. That quality creates curiosity, real curiosity, not manufactured. When someone speaks rarely but meaningfully, you listen more carefully when they do. You already carry this. Most introverts do. The work is not to develop it from nothing. The work is to stop undermining it with apology. So let me bring this back to where you are right now. You do not need to be louder. You need to be sharper, more intentional, more self-aware. You need to stop spending energy trying to replicate what comes naturally to someone else and start directing that same energy into understanding what comes naturally to you and refining it. Stop apologizing for how you process the world. Start building in the direction your mind already leans. Develop real skill. Carry your body with quiet confidence. Ask one honest question. Hold your ground in silence when silence is the right answer. This is not a performance of strength. This is what strength actually looks like when it is not trying to prove itself. Your silence was never your weakness. It was your untrained power. Train it.